people out there who are into whoop, 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 whoop sounds. We're looking at the Tremotron. Harry just... Harry Holden, Harry and the guitar up there fucking up. Awesome. We're going to leave this in there, Harry. What do you think? He's like, okay, well, he doesn't really have a lot of choice. So I was going to say, we're looking at the Tremotron by Le Stone Deaf from where Harry's from, that island. I've been excited about the Stone Deaf pedals for a while, but that Hilton man from the Stone Deaf held them back for a while, and now I have them. Okay, so this is really cool, and it actually fixes one of my major pet peeves with tremolos, which means you can't use them in a musical context because they are stuttery. When you have something that's really stuttery, like gak, using it in a band, how's it gonna work? Your drummer would have to play along with the tremolo, which can only work if the tremolo is playing continuously, so the drummer has that as a click. But he'd also have to really hear it in his ear to really play along. That doesn't work. Yes, it has a tap, 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 but the tap is absolutely not precise. Also, the tap will give you the tempo, but not the down of the waveform. So if you have a waveform like the square wave over here, it is on, off. Where is it on and where is it off? If that's somewhere like on the 2nd 16th of the beat, the tempo isn't going to change that, so you have to re-trigger the wave, all that stuff. This thing has, if you go to the side cam, Harry, on this side, where you of course can't see it, a Midi input. And it can be clocked with MIDI. It also has an expression input, which we're going to look at. But the great thing about this is it can be clocked with MIDI in either a recording situation, which is what you heard at the beginning, everything was totally synced, or in a live situation, if your drummer is playing along with a sequence or has a MIDI clock output from his metronome, that is totally doable. So this thing fixes my major pet peeve. Great rhythmical sounds, but most tremolos don't make them usable in a musical context. This does. So that's great. What it also does, under the hood, it's le deux. It's two tremolos in one. Right now you see green controls. Once I push this, ba-doing, there is, ba-doing is by the way the sound that it makes, but it's very quiet, so I had to, emphasize that. So let me do that again. So you turn that off, and then you go, no wait, you turn that off by, no, so now it's wait, what, no, huh, what? Okay, so it's off, and then you go, ba-doing, and then you see a red control. And you can see now, manipulate, no wait, the red control, there it is, which is red control, which is a second tremolo on top of your main tremolo. So let me show you what that is. The main tremolo does volume up and down. So all that the tremolo is loud, soft, loud, soft, loud, soft. In different waveforms. If it's a sine wave, like it is down here, wait, let me turn that one off again. Wrong. No, wrong. Wrong. I'm on. Wait, God damn it. Off. And now on. Here we go. But I turn the red one off. Here we go. But now, yeah. Okay, it's off. So the sine wave, like this, it is a long wave. So it's loud, soft, loud, soft. But if you have a square wave, it's loud, soft, loud, soft. Or if you have a square wave like these over here, where the first part is shorter than the last part, it's loud, loud. Or if the first part is longer, it's loud, loud. Okay? Different rhythms, different length, different sustain length of the loud versus the soft part. Now imagine you have a long square wave, so okay? But then you have a second tremolo superimposed on that, which is doing square. So it's, I mean, I could also play the pedal, but that would be much less funny. So, it can do this. It can also, based on the tab, have subdivisions. It can also save 4 presets and all that. Make sure that your MIDI cable is not this one. Because this cable would actually go down from the pedal, down, and actually just hit the pedal board. So that doesn't work. Make sure you have a straight cable or one that goes up or one that goes to the side. Almost hit the dog. Sorry, Django. I forgot you were there. So we're going into the Sky King by Tone King, which is the green thing over there. Mic'd with a Lewitt MTP 440 and also going to the aux right there with the 412 cream back loaded. Played with this Le Beautiful Mayonnaise Hydra 6. Might not be the most classic guitar, but I think for what we're doing, this is great. It also has single coils. Let's turn it off. Have a little bit of reverb in there because it's nice. Oh God, come on. So, we have tone, so we can roll off the brightness, main level. Let's turn it on. So let's look at it. Speed, speed in French. Have I mentioned that this is a fully analog tremolo, which is digitally controlled? It's very important to realize that this is not a digital box that takes your signal, digitizes it, and then does something with numbers. No, there's no numbers. There's voltages? I don't know. And you can actually get that to be a lot faster, which I will show you later, for actually something that is ring modulated, which I don't think it really is, but it sounds kind of like that. Once you get that frequency to be so fast that it goes past 20 hertz, it actually becomes a note that you can hear. So tap works. We have depth. Okay, at that stage, let's do this. Let's put the Wampler Pantheon in front of it with a little bit of drive, so we can actually hear it even more precisely. There's more frequencies to hear. Okay, so let's go through a couple of waveforms. We got sine. Ramp up the way I see that. Something that I don't know what that is. Triangle. more choppy now, more hitting. Here we have the square with a, well, it's a pulse. It's not a square really, but it's the first pulse is shorter. Stupid to play that. Here we have a equally shaped square. The sustain in the loud part is longer. I don't know what that is. Even shorter. Okay, so we're gonna go and have a sine, relatively slow. The sine is Leo. Where's my coffee? I think I made coffee. Get it? No? Harry, was that funny? No. Harry says no. He called it! I take pills for that, by the way. I'm gonna push this now. Now I see red. Now I see red. That's a it's a song by, and I saw red. Why can't I think of it? Warrant. Great song. From Cherry Pie. So now on that slower sine, I have a square wave. I'm actually going to do the short choppy one right there, indicated by red. Now I wonder what happens if my sine is actually faster and my square is slower. So that is definitely way, way cool. To get rid of that, you go to manipulating the red one by clicking it and go all the way 0 on depth. And that way it's gone. Let's do a tempo on the tap here. And now I can click this thing for subdivision. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 now. So that's dotted eighth, and that works like a charm. Eighth notes. And then incredibly fast, ridiculous speed, which will pretty much give you an actual note, amplitude modulation, pretty much, AM. So it's cool that it can do that for when you need that. Presets. You push that and you're on preset 2. So let's say here. I want to save that. I just push in that middle button. Preset le save. Okay, that we've covered that. We'll go on to 2 more things. One thing is going to be expression. Plug that in. I have a Mission Engineering Aero EP25, don't ask me, something on the floor. It's pretty in gold. It's gold. Look at, wait, where's the light? There is the light. Where the light is. Isn't that an album by the Beatles? Doesn't do anything right now. So if I want to control the speed, I hold that in. And technically now, look at that. I can control that with my foot. I haven't tried this, but let's say I set this up here. I'll turn that off again. Can I set up the control for the second one? Yes, I can. Look, my first one stays, my second one... So that's actually fairly easy. Turn that off again. Now it doesn't react to that, and I turn that off. Now I want to do this. You can even, if you wanted to, let's turn that off again. Control the waveform. You could, if you wanted to, control speed and the waveform at the same time. works very, very simple. I turn that off again, I turn that off again, and now it's all manual again. Great. So let's get to the 10th. Let's get to my 2 cents. That's what I'm trying to say. Harry, make that thing big again. So, layering 2 tremolos is crazy cool. Realistically, for me, I know what the first one would sound like, with depth and rate and waveform. Predicting the sound of the second one on top of it is way past my brain capacity, which is cool because you just play around with it and then magic happens. There's a lot of musical unpredictability with the second tremolo, which is great because if you can predict what if I'm doing this and doing this and that in that tempo and then no, just play around with it and create something awesome musically. So that is great. It is predictable and it is controllable up to the point where the second tremolo comes in and everything goes crazy and either it musically works or it doesn't. As you heard in the track at the beginning, the MIDI clock ability is a huge plus for this thing. It actually means that you can use those stutter sounds in a track. We layered 4 guitars with tremolo and it worked. How did it work? Well, when you get it, it isn't set to MIDI clock. You'll have to enable that by sending a continuous controller to it, which means plug in MIDI in your sequencer, make a MIDI track, call up a continuous controller track, and send continuous controller 30 with a value of more than 64. So send 100 to the pedal, continuous controller 30, and then it's on there. However, it does not save that. When you turn the pedal off, the MIDI clock is turned off again. Unless you save it to a preset, then it's turned on for all presets. So make sure if you want it to always accept MIDI clock that you turn it on and leave it on. So, turn it on. What am I saying? I'm sorry. That you save it to a preset. That's what I'm saying. Okay. 2 things that could be improved. A, when you are on full depth and we're here on the square wave, the guitar actually stays in there. It doesn't ever go away. The off volume of the guitar is not fully off. The stutter is not a full stutter. Let me illustrate. It should be completely silent in the pauses, but it's not. So what you get is a pulsating tremolo. You're not getting a stutter tremolo, which is really a bummer because in a musical context, this is the only one I can actually really sync. And then I can't actually really do this super techno-y modern stutter sound. I talked to Stone Deaf and it is an analog tremolo and it's pretty difficult. You can't just, set the numbers to 0 digitally and then it's gone. To do this in an analog way is difficult. Something about calibrating or whatever. It is what it is. So don't expect this to be a slicer because it can't be. It's analog, it's digitally controlled analog, so it'll never go really to 0 on your guitar volume. So that's something I wish it could do because it would be awesome. Doesn't make this a bad box, but I wish it did that. And when it's MIDI clocked, the MIDI clock will default to quarter notes. It's pretty much what you would tap. So if I'm at 120 beats per minute, what's it doing now? Why did it do that? I don't know what it just did. No idea. We're gonna go with it just did something. Where was I? So if I'm MIDI clocking it, it'll default. Wait. Haha! I just figured something out. Wait. No, I didn't. I don't know what I just figured out. I didn't. Okay then. It did a weird thing where tap all of a sudden was going through presets as if bypass was stuck. Like that. Maybe bypass was stuck. Okay. So, if you're sending MIDI clock to it, then your sequencer's quarter notes will be what you tapped, which means you can never go slower than quarter. So your tremolo will always be quarters or a subdivision of the quarters. Subdivisions given you here. So you can give it MIDI clock and you can do a dotted, eighth, triplets, 16th. But what if you wanted a nice ramp that ramps up every measure? So doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That would be great, but you can't because once you send it MIDI clock, your tempo is no longer adjustable. This knob won't do anything. So it would be great in future updates to have, when it's MIDI clocked, the tempo knob to be able to go slower and give you subdivisions of the MIDI clock, meaning half notes, 3/4 notes, 1 measure, 2 measures, so to have really slow tempos that are slower than the clock you're giving it. Because your computer will very likely give it quarter notes. If you're at 150, it's already a pretty fast tremolo. Those are the only two things I can find. It doesn't actually go to full zero on 100% depth. And I wish that when MIDI clocked, which you probably never do, but you can, it goes slower than the MIDI clock. Other than that, this thing's the shit. So I thought about what do I say about this? And realistically, my verdict is this is a great pedal. It's just not as great as it could be. And that's not a bad critique. That's just like, I love it, and I wish it did some things that I wanted to do. Which doesn't mean that's bad. Every Chase Bliss pedal is the same thing. I love the Chase Bliss pedals. They are amazing. They're just not as amazing as they could be because they have little dip switches and you can only go up to the line. Watch my Chase Bliss videos. They're amazing pedals. They're just not as amazing as the raw potential of the idea. It doesn't let you play with all the things you want to do. Like, I want slower tremolos with MIDI clock. Well, do you want that? I don't know. Again, killer pedal, not as killer as I would want it to be. But that's just me. So really, if you're in a tremolos, check it out. If you want to use tremolos musically in a recording situation, that's the one. Thanks to Stone Deaf, EDG in Denmark, who sent me this. And thanks to Harry up there for loose switching and animals at now.
Walk with me and see through my eyes. Try to keep up, and you will under. Walk with me and see through my eyes. Try to keep up, and you